I'm trying to tell you we're going live. Okay, everybody, we're live. uh, and here we are. Welcome to the live stream, Sacred Heart Live. This week we've got Deacon Juan with us. We're going to talk about adult faith formation. First, I'm going to go over the announcements, as like we always do. And let's see. Last week we talked about that it's a new year, so a new annual Catholic Appeal initiative. I think last year we more than exceeded our dollar goal, which was great. I think Father Michael is now asking he'd like to see more participation. So it's not so much as a dollar amount he's concerned about as seeing just more people, give something, and of course, let your conscience decide what that is. But that's kind of the goal for this year. I think he said he'd like to see at least 10% of the parish contribute. So that's 1 out of 10 people on the books. So let's see. Of course, you can do that online. And just make sure when you do it online through the Archdiocese website, you make sure that you specify that you're Sacred Heart Clovis, so they know which parish the money is coming from. You can, of course, mail a check to the parish office. They ask no cash, please, if you're going to give that way. Let's see. We'll get back to adult formation. We have a kind of a good news. I'd say good news, bad news. It's definitely good news. So it looks like we'll be restarting adoration again this week. Before it was Thursday afternoons and Friday mornings. But starting this week, it'll just be Friday mornings for now. Correct. So adoration will start Friday at 6:30 in the morning till noon. There'll be a checklist, and if you can, sign in, specifying what hour you can stay so we can make sure the schedule stays full. The last thing we want is to leave our the Blessed Sacrament alone in the church. But that's good news. We're starting adoration again. That's this week. Let's see. There's going to be a change to the Tuesday and Thursday Mass times. Based on participation, Father feels that we might have more people come to those Masses if we move it to 7 o'clock from 6 o'clock. So I think they're going to announce it this week. And then starting next week, effective Tuesday, the Tuesday and Thursday Mass will be at 7 p.m. instead of 6. So we'll see how that goes. I'll be honest, it would be easier for me to attend. I tend to work late sometimes. So, let's see what else are on the announcements. Our Lady of Guadalupe is having a Led by the Spirit mission Friday, February 17th, Friday the 18th, and Friday the 17th through Sunday the 19th. Yeah, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's going to be in the bulletin, and that's a little ways out. So. At least a couple weeks. So keep an eye out for that in the bulletin. Let's see. A reminder again that we do have the men's group meeting every, that's Monday, right? I lost it on the announcements. Yeah, every Monday, 5:30 p.m. at the library at the school. So men's group every Monday, 5:30. Spread the word. If make your husbands go. Make your brothers go. Huh. Urge them to go spend time with other Catholic men, and have that fellowship with other Catholic men, and work on faith formation, and be there for each other. Us men should be there for each other. Let's see what else we got in the announcements. There's a reminder in the announcements, of course, that we have a live stream every Tuesday at 7. So that's, let's see. And adult faith formation is, so we're going to talk about that with Deacon Juan. We've got adult faith formation happening at the church on Wednesdays during the CCD from 6 to 7.
Correct.
So right now it's kind of the parents of the children that are attending CCD have been going to the adult faith formation.
And this month will be English.
This month is the English.
Yeah, correct.
So that alternates between English and Spanish.
Yeah, we alternated every other month. So last month we had it in Spanish. This one will be on English.
Okay, so barring anything like say Ash Wednesday, of course I won't be on Ash Wednesday, but barring from that, it should be every week in this month, every Wednesday. Every Wednesday there
Every
should be
Wednesday, with the exception
of Ash Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. That makes sense. So that's from 6 to 7. So like I said, up till now, it's been encouraged that the parents of the children attending class go to this adult faith formation, and why is that? Well, believe it or not, when it comes to let's say what's the word I'm looking for? To foster and nurture a spirituality in child. Believe it or not, the school is not the best place to do that.
And it's not.
It's not. It's not the best place to do that. The church has they have educational classes to teach children on their faith, but when it comes to creating a relationship with God and to live a Christian life, the best place to learn that is not in school. It's at home. So, it's at home. So the idea is to encourage the parents to say, well, let's also work on your faith formation so you can help your child with their faith formation. And that, because we've got kind of, over the last few generations, we've got ourselves into a terrible catch-22. I've recently read a study that said that 25% of Catholics attend Mass at least once a week. Only 25. Only 20. Every Catholic should attend Mass at least every Sunday. I mean, it's a mortal sin not to. So I mean, the number should be 90. It should, outside of people sick or hurt or extenuating circumstances, it should be 90 something. But no, so one study says 25% of Catholics attend Mass, at least once a week, which we would assume on Sunday. But I've also saw another study that says, well, that study's probably not accurate because a lot of the people who took answered the questions probably didn't tell the truth. They probably said, "Oh yeah, sure, I go to Mass regularly every week." Actually, the number could be as low as 15%. That 15% of all Catholics attend Mass at least once a week. So so they look at it, and to be honest, if kids don't see their parents interested in prayer and worship, they're not likely to have an interest in prayer and worship. I mean, we learn these things at home. That's the best place to learn them. So, and Deacon Juan, what do you?
That's really, when we're talking about it earlier, off the camera, in Deuteronomy chapter 6 says, and love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, and teach this to your children. So we parents are the first teachers of our children, and we teach not only in a vocal way, but also in the way that they learn from us, in the way that we behave and we act. So if we are parents that really come to church and participate in the church, they're going to learn to be that way. Not to be parents that, okay, hey, remember we have to go to church because it's a day of obligation. No, we go to church because it's the right way. It is the right thing to do, because it's how do we express our appreciation for what the Lord did for me on the cross. I can never ever pay that debt. So the way I do it is the way I live my life, showing appreciation. So we have to remember that we are the first teachers of our children.
Exactly. So I guess what the point is I think we want to invite all adults to come to adult faith formation, not just the parents of the kids that are in, say, confirmation right now. That you may have younger children that aren't even attending CCD yet. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah.
But I remember when I took my confirmation class. I took mine as an adult because I was a convert and stuff like that. And yeah, the classes. I'm not saying they were bad. They taught me about my faith. There's so much more you can learn, and so much more that it's worth to continue your catechesis, to keep learning, yeah. Or to hear some of this stuff again. I remember something like that in the 6th grade. They talked about, I don't know, and I've been blessed the last few years to be in formation to become a deacon. I've learned so much more in the last 5 years, and It does. I'm terrible at explaining things sometimes, but the more you know about God, that brings you closer. And then that's like any person. The more you know about a person, the more
Yeah.
you learn about them, the more you know them.
Yeah. The more you know about your faith, the deeper is going to be your love for the Lord. And the deeper is going to be your love for the liturgy because you have a deeper understanding of who you are and on who you have become to become to be, So it's really
Exactly.
important.
Exactly. So, here comes the pitch. So Father wanted us to talk about it this week because actually tomorrow night at 6, I'm giving the next
Yes.
lecture. I'm giving the next
You're going to
lecture
be the
tomorrow.
one.
I'm on the hot seat. So
Yeah.
this should be interesting. I taught confirmation for the last 3 years to the kids, but this will be the first time that I've actually tried to teach anything to adults. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to talking with adults. I hope to be one someday myself.
No, that's okay.
No, I'm sorry, that's a bad joke. But no, the lecture is going to be on morality, moral decision making in light of Catholic teaching. To choose between right and wrong, not based on what society says or some philosopher says, but based on what our Catholic teaching says, based on divine revelation. What does God want you to do? What's a right choice? In God's eyes, and that's what we would all want to do. I mean, we want to make a decision that is good. So we'll talk about what is good and what defines good and evil, and things like that. I'm hoping it'll be an interesting discussion. I know Jeff Majak's doing next week.
Correct. He's going to talk about his own personal conversion, which is a beautiful conversion, and then the third Wednesday is going to be Martha and Luis Campos talking about natural family planning, which is the only way that the church recognizes for the control of your family. How can you prevent, or how can you really achieve what you want to have more children? So it is a method that has been approved by the Catholic Church. So Martha is our registered nurse, so she has the knowledge, and they come together and they teach that course, which is also, that course is a requirement for those individuals that are in the marriage formation.
Marriage formation, right? Exactly. And I actually does a really good job of giving this.
Not only that, is the only course that is bilingual, because Martha is bilingual. If you go to the diocese, it's not available bilingual, so we have it in Clovis, which is really very good for us.
Awesome. So as you can see, we have a schedule. We have a plan for adult faith formation. So and who knows? Maybe because eventually spring comes. Eventually, the I don't know. I don't know if it's something that we'll maintain all year long, or maybe it'll just be during the school year. But I think it would be good to see more adults there, not just the ones that kind of have to, but but the ones but by their own volition. I remember I remember when Father Simon he had asked the parents to come to learn to learn the catechism. He had the what was that but me and my wife went. We didn't have kids in CCD and stuff like that. We just wanted to learn more about our faith and stuff like that, and ask questions, and and just learn more. And we thought it was great, and we enjoyed it. And that year we went to adult faith formation, and we didn't have to do it. But we enjoyed it. We learned a lot more about our faith, and especially of course my wife. She's she was born and raised a Catholic. But me, I needed the extra. I needed the extra catechesis. It was good. It was good for me. So, I think that's about it. Well, Deacon Juan, anything you want to add?
Let me make a quick example. I was raised in Puerto Rico, where 75% is Catholic. So being Catholic is the norm. Nobody challenged my faith. So I didn't have to know my faith so much. I was just a Catholic, so I was very Catholic. So for me, I was just really repeating what I learned. But when I came to the USA, it was totally different. I came here, most of the people are not Catholic. They start challenging my faith. And guess what? I didn't know what to say because I didn't know my faith. So I had to buy some books and teach myself about my faith, because the more I know about my faith, the more I love it, and the more I can in a loving way, defend it against those that are
Right.
the wrong connotation and information.
No, very true. Very true. It's right. Yeah, especially apologetics. The other family members, the workplace, and things like that. They ask you questions, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying I don't know. I can look into that and find out. But it's good. It's good to know these things. It's good to be able to say with conviction, well, this is why the church teaches this, or
Absolutely.
this is
Yeah.
why we believe in the Holy Trinity. What it, what it means. Three persons, one God, things like that, and be able to and say with confidence because there's the folks that. There's the folks out there just itching to argue with you, and they know they know what they're going to say before they ever get to you. So politics is good.
The point that Father Michael had was, instead of having the parents dropping the kids and go back home and then to have to come back, stay here with us and you learn more about your Catholic faith.
Yeah.
So you can be a better example to your children when they come with questions that you don't even know the answer.
Right. You can say, in the next week at formation, say, by the way, my kids asked me this last week. Can you help me explain it to them? Why not?
Absolutely,
that'd be great. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's do that. Let's get that type of community experience, a community learning. So, okay. Well, thank you, Deacon Juan, for coming over and
It's my
being on
pleasure.
this stream. It's
My
always great
pleasure.
to have
God
you
bless.
over.
God bless.
And yes, everybody, God bless. Have a good evening, and we will see you soon.